Anatomy of eye. Introduction. The eye is the organ of sight. It is situated in orbital cavity and supplied by optic nerves, second cranial nerves. It is almost spherical in shape and about 2.5 centimeter in diameter. The space between the eye and the orbital cavity is occupied by adipose tissue and the bony wall of the orbit, and the fat helps to protect the eye from the injury. This is the structure: frontal bone, orbit, that is eye socket, then zygomatic bone, maxilla, mandible. Structure of eye: there are three layers of tissue in the wall of the eye ball. They are the outer fibrous layer of fibrous tunic, sclera, and cornea, the middle vascular layer of vascular tunic or uvular tract, choroid, ciliary body, and iris, the inner nervous tissue layers or sensory tunic, retina. The structure inside the eyeball are the lens, aqueous fluid, and vitreous body. So this is the structure of the eye, that is ciliary body and suspensory ligament, iris, lens, cornea, anterior chamber, posterior chamber, scleral venous sinus, vitreous body, retina, sclera, choroid, macula, lutea, optic nerves, and optic disc. Sclera, white part, sclera, a tongue white skin made of tissue that covers all the eyeball except the cornea. White of eye supports eyeball, provides attachment for muscles. Function of sclera, that is support eyeball, provides attachment for muscles. Cornea. Anteriorly, the sclera continues as a clear transparent epithelial membranes. The cornea light rays pass through the cornea to reach the retina, and the cornea is convex anteriorly and is involved in retracting, bending light rays to focus them on the retina. So this is the structures: cornea. So this is the cornea. This is the cornea, structure of the cornea. Cornea, clear lens in front of the eye, transparent covering of front of eye, allows for the passage of light into the eye and functioning as a fixed lens. Function of cornea: allows for the passage of light into the eye and it also focuses the light. Choroid. Choroid, chocolate brown in color. Choroid lines the posterior 5/6 of inner surface of the sclera. It is very rich in blood vessels and is deep chocolate brown in color. So this is the choroid. So this is the structures of choroid. Function of choroid: light enters the eye through the pupil, stimulate the sensory receptors in the retina, is the absorbed by the choroid. Ciliary body: the ciliary body is the anterior continuations of the choroid consisting of ciliary muscles, smooth muscles fibers, and secretory epithelial cells. It gives attachment to the suspensory ligament, which at its other end is attached to capsules enclosing the lens. So this is the structures of ciliary body. Iris, colored part of eye, control light entering. So this is the iris. Function of iris: parasympathetic stimulate constrict the pupil and sympathetic stimulate dilate it. Control the amount of light entering the eye. So pupil, that is black hole. Black hole is the iris. Black hole in iris where light enters. The pupil size is controlled by iris muscles. So this one is dilated pupil and this one is constrict pupil. Function of pupil: the hole where light enters into the eye. Pupil: when the eye needs more light to enter. When it is dark, the pupil get larger, allow more light to enter the eye. When the eye needs less light to enter, when it is very bright, the pupil gets smaller, allowing less light to enter the eye. Lens. The lens is highly elastic circular biconvex body lying immediately behind the pupil. It consists of fibers enclosed within a capsule and it is suspended from the ciliary body by the suspensory ligament. Biconvex means convex on both sides. So this is the structure of biconvex lens. Now this is the structure of lens. This is lens. Retina. The retina is the innermost layer of the wall of the eye. It is extremely delicate structure and is well adapted for stimulations by light rays. This light sensitivity layer consists of sensory receptors, cells, rods, and cones. The retina lies about 3/4 of eyeball and is thickest at back. It thins out anteriorly to end just behind the ciliary body. Near the center of posterior part is a macula lutea or yellow spot. In the center of yellow spot is a little depression called the fovea centralis, consisting of only cones. So this is the structure. This is retina, blood vessels, fovea, macula, pupil, cornea, iris. The rods and cones contain photosensitive pigments that covers light rays into nerve impulses. Blood supply of eye. The eye is supplied with arterial blood by ciliary arteries and central retinal artery. These are branches of the ophthalmic artery, one of the branches of the internal carotid artery. Blood vessels of eye. Blood vessels of eye, this is posterior ciliary arteries, optic nerves, internal carotid arteries, ophthalmic arteries, central retinal arteries. Anterior of eye, the anterior segment of eye, for example, space between the cornea and the lens is incompletely divided into anterior and posterior chambers of the iris. Both chambers contain a clear aqueous fluid secreted into posterior chamber by ciliary epithelial cells. Aqueous fluid supplied nutrients and remove waste from transparent structure in front of eye that have no blood supply. Example: cornea, lens capsule. So this is the structures of anterior and posterior area of the eye. This is the layers of iris, dilator pupil, anterior limiting layer, sphincter pupillae, stroma, anterior epithelial layers, and posterior epithelial layers. Now another is layers of ciliary body, that is internal limiting membranes, non-pigmental epithelial, pigment epithelial, stroma, and superciliary lamina. So vitreous body behind the lens and filling the posterior segment cavity of eyeball is vitreous body. This is soft colorless transparent jelly like substance compressed of 99% of water, some salt and mucoproteins. It maintains sufficient intraocular pressure to support the retina against the choroid and prevent the wall of eyeballs from collapsing. The eye keeps its shape because of intraocular pressure extended by the vitreous body and the aqueous fluid. So this is the vitreous humors. Optic nerves, second cranial nerves. The optic nerves is a bundle of more than 1 million nerve fibers, also known as the second cranial nerves or cranial nerves. Second, it is the second of 12 pairs of cranial nerves. It transmits sensory informations for visions in the form of electrical impulses from the eye to the brain. Damage to the optic nerves can cause visions loss. So this is the optic nerves. Functions of optic nerves: transmit electrical signal from retina to the brain, that is eye, optic nerves, lateral geniculate nucleus, and visual cortex. So optic chiasma, what is optic chiasma? This is situated immediately in front of and above the pituitary gland. In the optic chiasma, the nerve fibers of the optic nerves from the nasal side of each retina cross over the opposite side. So this is the suprachiasmatic nucleus, optic chiasma, pituitary, hypothalamus. And this is the optic chiasma. This is optic chiasma. Optic tracts, these are the pathway of optic nerves posterior to the optic chiasma. Each tract consists of nasal fibers from retina of one eye and temporal fibers from the retina of the other. Blind spot, the small circular areas of the black of the retina where the optic nerves converge and exit the eye and which is devoid of rods and cones and is not sensitive to light, called also optic disc. So this is the optic disc, that is blind spot. Accessory structures of the eye. Accessory structures of the eye, that is eyelid, eyelash, eyebrow, lacrimal apparatus, extensing eye muscles. So this is the structures: eyelid, eyebrow, pupil, iris, upper eyelids, and lacrimal caniculi, lateral commissures. So these all are the structures of the accessories as an accessory structure of the eye. Eyebrow, these are two arched ridge of the supraorbital margin of the frontal bone. Numerous hairs project obliquely from the surface of the skin. They protect the eyeball from sweat, dust, and other foreign bodies. So this is the orbital ridge and suborbital notch. Eyelids. The eyelids are two movable folds of tissue situated above and below the front of each eye. On their free edge, there are short curved hairs, the eyelashes. So this is the eyelid. Functions of eyelids. The eyelids and eyelashes protect the eye from the injury. Reflex closure of the eyelid occurs when the conjunctiva or eyelashes are touched, when an object comes close to the eye, or when bright light shines into the eye. This is called the corneal reflex. Blinking at about 3 to 7 second intervals spread tears and oily secretions over the cornea, preventing drying. Conjunctiva, it is a thin semi-transparent mucous membrane that covers the inner surface of the eyelid and the white part of eyeball, sclera. So this is the bulbar conjunctiva, this is palpable conjunctiva, and this is conjunctiva forens. Now another is lacrimal apparatus. For each eye consists of, that is, one lacrimal glands and its ducts, two lacrimal canculi, one lacrimal sac, one nasolacrimal duct. Lacrimal apparatus. Each eye, this consists of lacrimal gland and its ducts, lacrimal sac, nasolacrimal ducts. The lacrimal duct glands are and exocrine glands situated in recesses in the frontal bones on the lateral aspect of each eye, just behind the supraorbital margin. Each gland is approximately the size and shape of almond, and it is composed of secretory epithelial cells. The gland secrete tears composed of water, mineral salt, antibodies, immunoglobulin, and lysosome, a bactericidal enzyme. Exocrine gland. What is exocrine? A gland that makes substance such as sweat, tears, saliva, milk, and digestive juice and releases them through a duct or opening to a body surface. Example of exocrine glands include sweat glands, lacrimal glands, saliva gland. What is endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are produce glands of endocrine system that secrete the products hormones directly into the blood. So this is the example, that is pancreas, pituitary glands, thyroid, etc. Recess. What is the meaning of recess? A small empty space in or cavity. What is sac? It is pouch of cavity. Duct, bodily passage of tube. This is the structure of lacrimal gland. Now the tears leave the lacrimal glands by several small ducts and passes over the front of the eye under the leads towards medical canthus, where they drain into the two lacrimal canculi. The opening of each is called the punctuatum. The two canaliculi lie on the above, the others separated by a small red body called trencher. So these are the lacrimal glands. This is the common canaliculi, lower canaliculi, and this is the nasolacrical duct. This is another and structure, that is lacrimal gland, and this is another one is this is the lacrimal sac, lacrimal duct structure are there. The tears then drain into the lacrimal sacs, which is upper expanded end of the nasolacrimal duct. This is membranous canal approximately 2 centimeter long, extending from the lower part of the lacrimal sac to the nasal cavity. So this is the structure, how uh, lacrimal sac produce the tears and it drains into the nasolacrimal ducts. This is the structures, lacrimal ducts, lacrimal glands. Then after that, superior canaliculi, lacrimal sacs, crensal, inferior canaliculus, and nasolacrimal duct. Functions of lacrimal gland, that is washing away irritating material, dust, grit, bactericidal enzyme, lysosome prevents microbial infections, prevent drying of the conjunctiva. Thank you. Please like and subscribe my channel.